Hi, Yoshi. Thanks for inviting me to have a chat with you. Let's start off with the easy ones. Where are you from?
I'm from a Oshino village. It's a really small village. It's in Yamanashi. So basically like only 7,000 people there. And then there is only one convenience store and one traffic light. It's very small. I didn't like it when I was a kid. So too small, there's nothing there. Just basically I grew up in a forest basically. And then, you know, I thought there's nothing there. So after high school, I moved to Tokyo, went to hair school. And then at the time I thought I just never go back. But and then after that, I mean, like, you know, I lived in Tokyo and then I lived abroad, and now I can appreciate it. That's why I feel like, you know, just I was working in Omosanto and Ginza, and then you know, that's a big city, but I don't know, just like I felt it was just too much, I guess. And so now like I just opened up my shop. So it's in the east side of Tokyo. It's more like kind of a Shitamachi area. You can feel people, like local people, and just like small like local shops, and just really comfortable in the east side. So I guess, like, you know, I'm from, you know, from countryside, so it's kind of like, it's not the same, but like kind of similar feeling. You know your neighbors and, you know, friends, and just really fun living east side of Tokyo. So
You said you've lived overseas. Can you tell me a bit more about your experience living abroad?
so I lived in London, and also I lived in Toronto, Canada. So I was abroad for like 5 years in total. So I moved to London when I was 20 years old. So after high school, I moved to Tokyo. I went to the hair school, and then, you know, I was just fascinating. I mean, like, living in Tokyo when I was in my hometown, but I moved to Tokyo and then I thought there's nothing in Tokyo again. And then I don't know, just like I felt, I mean, like I had friends, and, you know, but like I was always feeling like I'm different. Just wanted to live abroad. And then I went to Paris and London. It was kind of like a school trip. And then I went to the barber shop and got a haircut in London. And I thought, I just want to live in here, work in here, and then just moved to London after hair school. So it was the first time living abroad. I couldn't even speak English, but, you know, I was young, so I made it. And then I thought it's gonna be okay. Then my parents are kind of worried about it, but I was like, no, fine, just, you know, it's just like, you know, we're still in the same world, so on the earth, so but yeah, I didn't feel like scared or having any trouble. It happened, but yeah, I did.
You did have trouble?
Yeah, lots of things, yeah, happened. So when I first moved to London, I couldn't speak English at all. I mean, like, I've done, like, you know, basic American English at school, but I couldn't speak at all. So I didn't know, you know, how to order food, or, you know, just I didn't know how to get a train or buy tickets and stuff. and I didn't have friends, so it was really tough to you know, get a flat, or it was very hard for me. Just it was first time living abroad and I didn't know anything. And I mean, like I'd been to like London before, but I wasn't living, just it was for school trip and just stayed for like a week, I guess. So yeah, it was just different visiting and, you know, living there actually. So yeah.
What got you started in the classic menswear world? I mean, you know, the suits you wear are amazing. How did that all begin?
Yeah, so I always loved vintage clothes, but I did lots of different styles. I mean, I used to be kind of like punk rock, or I mean, weird clothes, and I did 50s as well. And then so yeah, I mean, like I always loved vintage style, but so I met the guy from a Tommy Guns at the Barber Shop. So they were dressing up like, you know, wearing ties and like waistcoat and tattoos and facial hair. So and then I just really wanted to be just part of them, I guess. Like I just really, you know, I thought that was cool, and then I just buying lots of vintage clothes, and I started with like wearing ties and braces, and then like I don't know, I was really into it. And then after that, I mean, like I started going to New York, and then I met lots of people and wearing like vintage clothes. And so there is a 1920s style like jazz age lawn party in New York in the summertime. I knew it, and then I got this book called I Am Dandy. So basically, you know, just like you know, dandies from all over the world. I guess like it was from London, New York, like Paris or something like that. But and then and I saw those people, and then I thought they're really cool. And then I didn't know why, just like they're kind of different. And then I went to the party, and then I went to New York actually, and then I posted some photos on Instagram. And then I got a message from Rose, who's photographer for the I Am Dandy book. Then she was like, oh, yeah, there is a party this weekend. I mean, of course I went for it. I just met just those people, my icons from the book. And then I just like started talking to them, and I just realized, I mean, so basically the whole lifestyle is like basically like the vintage kind of. I mean, like not like, you know, living like, you know, 1920s or 30s or anything like that, but like, you know, just like you know, like they know about like music, history, and, you know, cocktails and everything. And then they just wear, you know, dress gown at home. You know, they wear like, you know, smoking gown, smoking cap when they smoke pipes and cigars and stuff. And it was like, yeah. And then, you know, at the time I was 20, 21 or 22 years old. I mean, like I would just like try to dress up when I was going out or at work, but at home I would just wearing whatever, just, you know, sweatshirt or t-shirt or something like that. But and then I was like, that's why maybe like, you know, they're really cool, because like whole life is style like that. Then just started wearing, you know, pajamas and gown at home, and just everything, not only just, you know, suits and tie, just everything. And then started going to like classic cocktail bars, and so yeah, and then I was really into it, and then it was really fun. So yeah, just keep going, and I was getting a lot of followers on Instagram, I guess, at the time. I mean, like, not a lot, but just, and I felt like, oh yeah, and then I was always living in a really small community. I didn't, you know, think like, you know, I was going to be famous, so I didn't want to be famous. I just want to, you know, I wanted to wear just whatever I want, and then but you know, just I was getting more followers on Instagram, and then I was like, oh yeah, just like maybe people just like think I'm cool, I guess. And then I met a lot of photographers, and yeah, taking photos of me, and then now like I have to be cool for them, I guess. That's why, like, you know, that's my motivation, I guess. You know, now like I really appreciate the people who helped me a lot. So now, you know, I just try to be the coolest of me all the time, because I guess people just, you know, expecting like that, I guess. I mean, like, yeah, I like that. So yeah, just trying to be the coolest one.
Is there anyone in particular that inspires you in your style journey?
You know, old movie stars, like, yeah, from like, you know, like old Hollywood and stuff. But the Russell Manley, he's the owner of a Tommy Guns. And then, I mean, like he's more like kind of like casual clothes now, but at the time he was like, you know, wearing like suits and having like mustache and classic hairstyle and everything. And then now, like, I really like him. He's like my British dad. He's really nice. I mean, like, he lives in New York right now, but he opened his barber shop in Tokyo as well, and I met him in Tokyo, and he's really nice. And just so yeah, he is one of them. And just people I met in New York, I guess, just they all just really cool. I mean, having like, I guess like they have a their own styles. I guess, you know, when you look at them, and then if you don't wear like suits or you wouldn't see, but like they have like individual like different style. I mean, like kind of like they're just like original. So yeah, that's like inspiring. Like I of course, like when I was younger, I was copying a lot. I would just copying him, or just like copying his suits, cut, everything, tie, like wear to buy and everything, just copying everything. But I guess I was lucky. I guess I lived abroad, and then so I was different because I was Asian there. So I was just like trying to be like them. I wanted to have like, you know, blonde hair and blue eyes, and then I got a tattoos. But I just realized I can't be just like them because I am from Japan, and then my family is Japanese, and then I thought, you know, I should accept that. After that, so I just tried to be myself, I guess. And then I was just getting more clients and people around, and I was like, okay, I guess like, you know, being Japanese is kind of cool. So yeah. Now like I really like Japanese old movie stars as well, like Toshiro Mifune, he's really cool. Jiro Shirasu, he's pretty cool as well, but I don't wear jeans anymore, so yeah. But yeah, like, you know, lots of icons, yeah.
The first time I actually saw you was on Instagram, and it was a channel about the Cats Meow, and pictures of, you know, groups of people dressed in amazing, you know, 1930s, 1940s kit. What is the Cats Meow?
It's just a group. Basically, they're friends. There's a bar called a Streamline Cafe Streamline in Daikanyama. So I started going there. It was like maybe like 4 or 5 years ago now. And then at the time, I guess like I was the younger one. I mean, this kind of like 1930s, 40s kind of like dressed community. I was the youngest one, I guess. And then after that, I met this guy. He's like only like 2 years younger than me, Satoshi-kun, Nogami-kun, and then we are kind of like, you know, same Asian. You know, we love vintage dress style, and then they're doing like live jazz event every month, and then we're just like going there, and then like new guy just, you know, came to the party, just became friends and just growing up slowly. And then we were doing like a big party for the end of the year, like Bonenkai, and just sometime, you know, we wear like kimono as well. So just, you know, just basically we hang out and then dress up properly, and yeah, just like try to enjoy the life, I guess. And then actually, like, we don't talk about fashion or clothes much, actually. We talk about, you know, our job and everything, and we just share the moment and just enjoy our lives, I guess.
We've touched on it a little already, but please tell me more about your tattoos. Are you a gangster?
I mean, I got all of them in London, and then when I first moved to London, I had 0 tattoo, and then I don't know, just like when I was a student, I was just trying to be good kid, you know, studying hard, and then just moved to London, and then I always wanted to get a tattoo, and just got a first tattoo in London, and then I didn't even think about it, just kind of weird tattoo. It says like 440, S440. So basically it's like Yoshio. I'm like a Suyama Yoshio, S for Suyama, and then 440 is like so basically like Japanese pronunciation, Yoshio. So and like I thought it was cool, but you know, it's kind of stupid tattoo now. But and then I thought that was enough, and then after like a couple weeks later, I was like, I'm gonna get like 1 more, 2 more, then really addicted. I was just going back to tattoo studio every week. After I got my chest piece, I was like, okay, now I can get tattoo on my neck. And then so something like that. You know, people just around me at the time at the barber shop, they all covered with tattoo, and then I thought they're really cool, and then I just wanted to be like them.
We're here in your fabulous barber shop. Please tell me about your newly opened business.
So this is the barber shop, and then actually I just decided to start my own shop. Like it was in February, so 6 months ago, and I made it. So when I came back to Japan, at the time I was 25 years old, and I didn't think I was gonna stay this long. Just like talking to this guy, he's also a barber, we work together, and then I really respect him. Like we're just like completely different style. He's more like kind of like streetwear, like biking, skateboarding and stuff. But he does what I want to do, I guess, like not only barbering, just art, being on a magazine, like producing some like clothes and collaborating with artists and doing pop-ups and stuff. And I was like, I was talking to him, and then I told him like I'm leaving that barber shop, and then just I don't know what to do, and just give me some advice or something like that. And then he was like, you should just like start your own shop. And then I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then I just like made it in like two minutes. And then I was really scared. I mean, like I didn't know how to start business or just opening a shop or setting up a shop. But if you just make decision and then you just go for it, and then it happens, I guess. So yeah, and then I was just looking for some like old Japanese house, because I wanted to make it like just like barbershop and my living space and all this stuff. I mean, like basically like this is my castle. Living in the castle, just working in my castle, basically. The concept is like in 1920s, this like Japanese barber travels around the world. Then he sees different countries and cities and everything. And then he comes back in Japan and he opened up like the barber shop, and then he lives upstairs. That's the concept. So the barber shop, it's kind of like Cuban and kind of like Miami feeling, Art Deco style. But so basically this is like a Japanese house. So you still see like Japanese things a lot, but it looks like the color is more like kind of like Caribbean and gold and Art Deco, this like design. So yeah, and then upstairs is more like kind of like Western Japanese mix. So in 1920s, 30s in Japan, it was at the time people started wearing like Western clothes, like for ladies, like started wearing dresses and suits. Still at the time, still wearing like kimono. So they're called the modern girls, modern boys, mobomoga in Japan. That style, like wearing 20s style clothes, and still living in Japan. That's kind of the thing. And then so yeah, I've got like Japanese furniture still. I've got like Western antiques, and it's kind of like a mix. That's a concept. So like it's very different style, but basically everything just style from like 1920s to like 30s, 40s, just something like that.
Tell me, Yoshi, about your life philosophy, if you have one. Is there anything like a principle or a direction that, propels you in life?
So, just, try to be decent person. Just, at work, or, if you work for like company, or, working with someone, like, you have to be, nice to them, and then just like, just try to follow the rules, and just trying to be nice to people. People say like I look scary, so just try to be nice to kids and neighbors. And when I was younger, I would just, I don't know, just like I wanted to look older, I guess, and I wanted to be stronger looking, I guess. So I wasn't very nice to people, but I met a lot of friends and people in the different cities now, and then I realized like a couple of years ago, lots of people just like, supporting me. So I guess like I really appreciate it, and then I guess I wanna be like one of them. I wanna be the one who like inspire people, or just supporting someone, because like a lot of people just help me a lot. Now like I turned 30 years old last year, turning 31 this year, so like I'm not the youngest one anymore. So I still like have like lots of respect for all the people in this industry, and like vintage people, but now like some younger generation dressing up like super cool, and who's into classic style. So I feel like I gotta take care of them as well. And it's not like Japanese style. You're a younger one, so you have to respect me. You gotta do this, and not like that. So basically we just enjoy our lives together. But if I could inspire them, or I can just do something for them, that would be great. So just trying to be middle-aged coolest one.